What's up, y'all? Thanks for checking out episode 91 of The Balancing Act. James and I talk a little bit about handling people who still try to ridicule or mock or just otherwise are not receptive to facts that they don't find convenient or that they want to label quote-unquote conspiracy or just weirdo, lunatic talk or whatever. I did talk a little bit about Brandon Joe Williams, onestupidfuck.com, also at one.stupid.fuck on Instagram, and I think he's at onestupidfuck or something like that on X, formerly known as Twitter. This dude's amazing. Really, I encourage everybody to check his content out. I myself need to do a deeper dive. There are other figures in this quote-unquote sovereignty movement. The other one that I know for sure, his name is Jaleel Bey. His specialty, at least from what I've gleaned, is adverse possession, which I'll just have you Google or chat GPT or whatever you do now to figure out what that means. We also talked a little bit about cannabis, our plans for the future, gardening, the soil, health of soil for gardening, these sorts of things. We spent some time talking about dreams and consciousness and dreaming, and I tell a personal story about 46-ish, well, I guess it's more like 47, 48 minutes-ish into the episode. Overall, I thought this was a great one, and I hope you guys think the same. Thanks again. This is the first time we've done, or you've been on back to back for a minute.
In a while. But sometimes it's warranted, and sometimes it just happens.
Why did we do this today?
I think, I honestly think sometimes in life you realize that there might be muses around you that you...
What do you mean by a muse?
So, I think a muse, like a muse can be used in different things. You hear artists say it a lot, or musicians or actors or whatever. They'll have someone in their life or something in their life that allows them to, like, you feed off of energy and it brings a creative side, or it brings something out of you that allows you to touch on something that you want to get out, or something that you want to talk about, or something that relates to something that you're already talking about. So I think there's just things sometimes that I could look at one way, but if you choose to look at it in another way, it can connect some dots for you. It
can you be more specific?
Well, I think, because like I said, it's not about names. It's just more about a collective. It's a mindset. And I think sometimes...
I'm not asking you to be specific about the muse. I'm asking you to be specific about what was triggered in you. And not necessarily triggered in the, like...
No, I get it. I said it to you earlier.
Yeah.
I said it to you earlier. It's not triggered in that way, but triggered in the sense of realizing, like, there are, like, even when you might get chastised, folks, or even when you might get called a tinfoiler, folks, or kind of shoved in a box, I feel, for questioning or thinking outside of the box or whatever, you got to remember the very people that are doing that are most likely just scared or fearful of that truth. So they project it.
Or they're comfortable with the way things are.
Or that is the other side of it too. That is the other side of it too. But you hate to see the toe in, toe out type of deal. Or the it only fits or works or you're not this, or you're not a tinfoil, or you're not that if it relates to this, but you
Timmy
are
B
if it
calls
relates
them
to
double agents.
Yeah, that's a very good name. That's a very good name.
Yeah.
You know, a certain topic or a certain thing warrants a question, but not something else, because
hip hop totally okay to
question what's going to dissect and look at, and
financial
maybe
industry,
there is something there now, but
or the stock market. Yeah.
You know,
or the whole realm of mind control, whether it be through pharmas, because I think the person that you're referring to is okay with talking about pharmaceutical coercion, conspiracy, so to speak.
Right.
But expanding that to full-blown mind control programs over large populations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's extra. That's not, now you're.
It's fascinating.
Whatever.
It's fascinating. It's what sparked the.
It's called inductive reasoning. It's like the only thing that these types of people will listen to is deductive reasoning, but it's like,
right.
Sometimes you can extrapolate from the data and build the big picture. And it's not necessarily assumptions at a certain point, because there's only but a few possibilities that it could be, given the plethora of facts at maybe a smaller level.
And let's not get it confused. It doesn't mean that everything that could be questioned or that gets pointed to is that.
Clearly not everything is controlled, or we couldn't have this conversation.
Absolutely.
We couldn't post it on the internet.
Absolutely. But to completely dismiss it or to chastise
the idea that there are mind control elements to society, even if it's not fully worked or fully pervasive.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't matter if there's a minority if you can get, 80% of the people just walking around with the fluoride stare. Because even if you got 20% that are awoke, or whatever you want to call us, questioning things,
it still blows my mind.
We're so independent that there's enough disagreement in our own 20% that they don't have to worry about us. We gotta come together. We gotta unionize somehow.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
That's where Brandon Joe Williams and this whole sovereignty movement, I think, we just gotta start ignoring these people that are not paying attention to the facts that we're presenting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this the sovereignty thing, it's like when we start acquiring abandoned properties and we've started our own nation and we're foreign diplomats rather than citizens of the United States. When we get on that level and it's all official like that, then, hey, you can call me a conspiracy theorist all you want, but I'm balling.
Yeah. Owning.
Yeah.
Now,
so, and I'm speaking out of my ass partially. I've dipped my toes into this sovereignty thing. Brandon Joe Williams is the man. One stupid fuck on Instagram and Twitter. This guy's on fucking point. And there's this other guy, Jaleel Bay. He's the one that talks a lot about I can't think of the exact term right now. I sent you the term, though. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I think.
But it's like acquiring abandoned property.
Yeah. No, you got to pull that up. It's the.
But it's basically this whole realm of legally recognizing yourself in such a way that you're not a corporate person, but you're a natural person, and you can leverage your corporate identity to make money, basically.
It should be right. And
there's a lot of different ways to do that. The word was adverse possession.
Adverse possession. That's exactly what it was.
In Virginia, supposedly you have to take care of an abandoned property for 15 years after you submit the affidavit, but apparently there's ways around the whole waiting periods, and I just need to dig deeper on all that.
Hence wanting to find what you were talking about earlier, too.
But this is all legit. This is not, but of course these types of people will say, oh, that's bullshit. But
well, that's we live in an information
I think we
age,
just got to
people.
do it.
It's so easy.
That's the only way to.
But it's a thing that you've looked into and it's out there, right? Like people have done it.
Brandon Joe Williams has his own amnesty coalition. Pickletaria is the nation. He's a foreign diplomat to the United States.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he's got his own driver's license. Pickletaria.
That sounds issued. So it's not something that is interesting.
Yeah,
it's. I gotta look into that too. I know you have brought it up.
I'm telling you, man, and I'm bojangling too. But I've had a lot to do around the house. I told you the whole like jack of all trades, master of none. I'm really focused on this cannabis thing right now.
Yeah.
Once I get that,
the coaching side,
the next thing is going to be this sovereignty thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to dip my toes more into it in the meantime. But once this cannabis cert is mastered, then I'll go into fifth gear with this sovereignty.
That'll open the door for a lot of things on that side too.
Yeah, cannabis is a true passion, so I feel like I should put it first for primary.
Yeah, you've already kind of started building that lane out too.
I've been at the dispensary since 22, and I've been smoking since 08, damn near every day.
It's such a, but again, like many other things out here now, everything's a bubble, everything's a lane. If you can, whether it's from a product side, whether it's from a marketing side, digital marketing is so big with it now. Yeah.
Or like just helping growing assistant. You can call me anytime and I can give you grow advice. Set such and such amount, I have to figure out what that amount is, but
no, I get it. The consulting aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Because it is a lane.
Even the spiritual aspect of it, because it's like a coaching course too. So it's like life coaching, but with cannabis. And that can come from any angle. You've never tried it before, you're interested in it, you want to talk to somebody who knows a lot about it, boom, there's one. You smoke every day and you feel like you're getting anxiety now, or you're getting paranoia, or you're blaming the plant for like your addiction.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not the plant's fault. I guess it's showing you something in you that you're not facing.
Right.
Talk to me, and I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to ask you the right questions for you to figure out what it is that you're not addressing.
Sound like some book stuff too that can be.
It's life coaching, but it's in the cannabis lane.
Yeah,
and it can address any level. You used to smoke and you stopped for work, and now you're interested in getting back into it because of the legalization. It's more laissez-faire now, so to speak. You're not as worried about getting popped or whatever.
Right.
No matter where you are on the spectrum with cannabis, I've served so many patients over the last 3 years. I'm managing the dispensary now. I've learned so much about cannabis that at this point I'm learning about soil.
Right. Talk more about that too, because soil from two people who garden and grow plants and veggies and all kind of stuff. Like the soil piece is important from that, but also even growing cannabis or whatnot. Like
if you want to grow something, it's important to have soil that, first of all, unless you're, and even with cactus and stuff like that, like you just want it to be real dry and sandy, but at the same time you don't want it to be bleached or sanitized of all nutrients.
Yeah. It's still drawing something from that sand,
silica or whatever. Outside of the succulent class, I think you just want really nutrient dense soil for the most part. And it depends on the plant as far as how well drained you want it. And there's a lot more. I'm not a gardener per se. I am an amateur gardener.
Hey, exactly.
I'm not a professional gardener, but I'm trying to get professional with the cannabis.
Yeah.
The cannabis growing is what I want to be professional grade or ceremonial grade, if you will, with that.
Yeah. The lady up the road here with her garden every year, our cousin Eileen's garden up there, and then look at the lady across from the post office there in Churchview that's got that old used to be an old antique store post office there, and just the way that they have these gardens laid out, man. These folks got it down pat. And even going down 17 now, folks just the big old what do you call it? The tents covering up all the plants, stretching for feet.
Like like they have the wiring,
yeah,
and then they just spread that like almost like painters, canvas.
But I did expect 2020 to start a lot more of this, so I'm happy to see it though too. Because remember what we were talking, even though everyone is magically forgetting that there was a time when someone else was in office and things were short and prices were getting crazy, but
they still are.
They still are.
And there's only one party, the corporate party.
Yes.
With two color flags.
And like I said,
change every now and then.
And like I said, the new level set of that new price tier. Yeah. Like I said, it's never going back under that. Like
it might go a little just to get the people to vote however way they want to vote.
But still, that's what I mean by that threshold. So
manipulation at every level.
So what? It goes back to 480 now, let's say.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 4. We see 4 again. That feels good. It's good to see 4 again. It's not 5.
Yeah, but it should be 2 or 189.
Exactly, but we don't. But what was it? It's these new level sets, and so many people I feel miss it. You know. And then they get to arguing about the talking points again. But anyway, soil. I wanted to go back to, so the soil piece, even for as long as I've been doing it, don't have the compost. I need to start my compost game.
Yeah, definitely.
My cousins talk
it's
about it.
It's not that hard.
About it. No, I know. And
it's really easy, actually.
You've done it for a couple seasons, right?
Yeah.
And you just throw anything...
You want a decent mix of browns and greens.
Got you.
But at the end of the day,
but your scraps mainly, or produce that goes rotten and stuff.
Yeah.
Just tossing stuff in there.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I try to keep my grass cuttings, even my like weed cuttings, like as long as it's not an invasive species that's like out of control.
Yeah.
You know, even an invasive species, like for the most part, it's going to be fine as long as you don't let it take over, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And most of them are going to die out in the middle of the compost and just break down into the compost anyway.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on there.
Unless it happens to be one seed of some invasive species, and then even then, if you see a plant growing out of your compost pile and it doesn't look...
So you're just throwing everything in there.
Green, anything green, and then...
Anything green and brown.
Yeah. Like anytime I have to pull a plant up for whatever
weeds.
Reason, weeds, especially in the garden though. Like, you know, I prune my cannabis plants, so all the stuff that I prune goes in the compost
that
pile.
makes sense. Yeah. That's
you,
nice because your soil is getting some of that in there.
Yeah. There's also this thing called Indigenous Microorganisms. It's a Korean natural farming
additive
modality, I guess.
Okay.
But it's like one product that you cannot buy because the whole premise of it is it's indigenous microorganisms. So you're taking microorganisms from the soil near where you're growing or close to where you're growing.
Yeah.
And you basically just cook some rice, put it in like a basket, like a wooden basket or like a picnic basket, something that has a little bit of air at the flow at the bottom.
Yeah.
Cook some rice al dente so it's not like sticky.
Mm-hmm.
And just put it in there, like staple a paper towel over top so it's like covered but not really covered so airflow can still get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just put that in like near some dead wood or on top of some leaves that sat all winter.
Mm-hmm.
And like the fungi will come through the soil and you'll see like this white fuzzy stuff on top of the rice. Take that and mix it with brown sugar. And it makes
it with brown sugar.
Yeah, because if you just try to take just the mycelium, it's like it's gonna go bad too quick. So the brown sugar like dries it out first of all, and it kind of puts it in like a dormant state, like a cryo sleep is what they call it, and that way you can use it for later. So if it's still like wet, that means you want to add more brown sugar until it's like almost a 50-50 consistency, maybe even a little bit more brown sugar just to ensure it gets all soaked up in the brown sugar. So it's like dried out.
Yeah.
And then
but I know your area gets plenty of sun too. You have a straight shot down.
There's plenty of shade spots too though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I used to get a lot more sun over there, and it just did better.
I'm such a novice at it. I feel like I don't want to really even talk about that, but I'm interested in it.
No. Yeah, to me, that's just my novice talk too.
Into.
Yeah, a lot of mine has just always been obviously learning it from my pops growing up, being out there doing it with them. But there's so many ways, like anything else. You get out here, you learn, you read a few things, and you can elevate that. Like the soil is very important, but the sun is too. We get plenty of rain out here. We usually don't have no rain issues. There might be one little spot throughout the year where it may not rain that much, but for the most part, she raining a lot. Sometimes a little too much, actually.
Especially in the fall.
Yeah,
like
but even like now in the spring, like these showers.
Well, that's not bad.
No, for sure. Especially when you got certain things in the ground.
Seedlings.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's funny how it just knows when the I can't
nature's on point, man.
Yeah. Right? Like right when farmers are planting again and we're planting seeds and stuff, it's raining out here. And also, just with all the pollen that gets off out here, how the rain needs to wash that away and all of that. But she be OD raining sometime for a little bit. But anyway, yeah, I need to start adding that to my repertoire. I've been saying it. But what is yours again? Your composter?
It's one I got on Amazon, but I don't even use that for the most part. I only put like stuff that's already like kind of composted from my big compost pile into that bin now.
I got you.
So that bin cooks over the winter, and then this year when I started pulling a little bit from that compost bin, that was like fire.
Yeah.
You could just tell it was like black and nutrient dense and just like crumbled in your hand.
See,
soft and moist. Like it's so perfect.
See, I've been focused. Yeah, I focused on the fertilizer and like doing all that. And
that's been like 2-3 years of just like
I know.
Random.
I remember when you
but
first got it.
When I get that bin, I'm only putting like cannabis clippings or like dirt from a plant that I pull. Like when I cull a nail. Yeah. I'll like shake off all that soil into that bin and then throw the plant into like the big pile.
Yeah.
So the big pile gets like not as high quality stuff, but it'll become high quality because it's such a big pile that it's all.
And then you take some of that and throw it in the other thing to mix it in.
Some good stuff, throw it in the bin.
That's not a bad system there.
That stuff gets real.
I think I can take my shit to the next level. It's not even. First of all, my shit grow fine. The deer out here, man, with the sweet potatoes.
Yeah, you got to get cages and stuff.
I know. It's level up time. And like I said, that's also why people just have their stuff inside now, or their little things that they build. That might have to be the move. But anyway,
gardening. You can start them inside, and then once they're strong enough, you can put them outside. Yeah. I had to do that with cannabis now, too. When I started putting seedlings out there outside, I'd go out there and there's just a hole in the ground where my plant was. And you'll see like the roots and then like the base of the stem just sitting there like a couple feet away, and they done chewed up the rest of it.
I just seem to have problems with these damn deer right now.
Well, you're out here in the sticks.
I'm in the sticks, folks. So, anyway.
But I want to get back on because, we went on the tangent of if you really want to prove something to these skeptics, I think that lane is the sovereignty lane, which is the foundation of it is our birth certificate creates the entity that is William Garnet Carson IV, the corporation. The corporate person. And the word person, there's a lot to that. And when it comes to law, person can be a corporation. Mm-hmm. So anyways, there's the natural person and there's the corporate person. And 99% of us, 99.999% of us have a corporate identity.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just scratching the surface of what I'm talking about right now. But check out One Stupid Fuck on Instagram or Twitter, Or I think his website is onestupidfuck.com. He's hilarious, actually. Interesting guy, but I fucks with him.
And
lawyer,
of course,
yeah.
But think about if there, and I know there are. Think about understanding law, but being
understanding it in such a way that you want to free the people.
Instead
of benefit from their enslavement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean.
I mean, how good of a person can you be to?
Not only good of a person.
This man has 22 plus hour courses called the contract.
Just talking about that
for free.
Yeah. Talking about contracts or talking about the
sovereignty? Talking about all of the laws: driver's license, car registration, mortgages, taxes, insurance. The definition of person.
That's a weapon. I'm
bro. Telling you.
That's a weapon because...
how many times did I hit you up? Check this shit out. Check this shit out.
Yeah. That was the 3-hour one?
That was the 1 hour. That was the intro. But that was just to get you to recognize that, yes, this is something I need to check out.
Yeah. But again, when we were talking about it earlier too, almost like, man, look, you take your SME skills.
And I'm going to put these links in the description for y'all.
Yeah. You take these SME skills.
What is that?
Subject matter expert.
Okay.
Yeah. So you take someone who is a expert in a field, and it ain't just about credential. There's some people that just dedicate their life to certain things. They know about it. But yes, okay, in the world of law, of course you need to be credentialed. I just mean, pulling these people together. Just working together, right? Like everyone has their thing that they're doing, but you're also coming together as a collective to, yes. I mean, of course, that's what they're trying to stop from happening, but I just mean, it's something about you saying that, it's a reminder of like, you got to have somebody
around for everything,
from the IT perspective, the law perspective. You said insurance earlier.
This raw milk thing that I've gotten into.
Yeah.
It's like you can't buy raw milk because of the laws or whatever. But,
I know.
But you can. The way they set this thing up is it's a herd share.
You have to join.
And you're basically a part owner of the cows.
I told you when I took my dad to this natural doctor, she broke that down to us.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you know what I said right there for when I was sitting in there? Oh, of course. It's something that's good for us. Look what we're up against.
Yeah, so of course they're gonna make us jump through some hoop to fucking get it.
So
right. Anything that's easy. Question that shit a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go to the
Candy
store.
Candy at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
All the bright packaging and shit.
Yeah. The milk that's just at the store up the road right there.
Pasteurized. Ultra pasteurized.
And so many people don't even know what these things mean. Ultra pasteurized. I mean, they're just picking milk off the shelf. 2%, 1%. Oh, low
that's
fat.
What they've done their
low
whole life.
Fat's good.
I used to do it.
I know.
You don't know what you don't know. But in the age of the internet, it does get a little bit frustrating.
So going back to even what started a lot of what happened the past couple days with the social engineering thing. Okay. That in itself, to me, it's fascinating, people.
But all right, I want you to. All right, so and James and one of our friends are involved in a group chat. The friend of ours is not as conspiracy minded, let's say.
In the term, it's not even a conspiracy.
I know. But B.O.B. says, you say the first word because it's an N-word. Don't want the facts. They want the convenient ones.
What song was that, by the way? I know
think
the
it's
bar.
War Witch.
Yes. I just going back to even what we were saying earlier about we've talked about it again with the muse thing. We've talked about it so many times before.
It's true.
I don't need
convenient facts versus facts Why are some facts okay
and others are so
ridiculed,
far
mocked?
But again,
Damn, you're such a fucking Washington commander. Commander!
Hey, there's a balance here.
Okay,
There's a balance here.
But until they go... Well,
listen, let me just...
I was for the name change. Well, I wasn't for the Commanders ever. And I was for going away from the Redskins.
There's just so much...
Until I understood the history. This is actually a perfect example of, like,
Convenient facts?
Convenient facts versus facts. Convenient fact, Redskins is racist because it's literally red skin.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. I actually agree. That kind of sounds racist when you're literally talking about the color of somebody's skin.
I said it in the chat.
Then you hear the story from the actual chief's son. Wasn't Chief Two Guns' son says... The term Redskins is a warrior term from our tribe. We paint our skin red when we go to battle.
Right.
That's where the term comes from.
Yes.
It's called learning. You learn, your viewpoint changes.
It's
you
also...
learn different facts about different situations. You hear different stories from
context.
people.
Context.
You learn more. You grow. Your perspective can change. It's not going to end the fucking world.
But also, yes, listen.
Because that's just an example of I was for the name change because my perspective was limited to red skin. Well,
and
they're
being
talking
a fan
about the color of somebody's skin.
Yeah.
I'm a pro-native. That sounds pretty whack to me.
Yeah.
Then you hear the actual story and it's like, well, now it sounds like they're just trying to erase history.
Because of what? Context, though.
And they want to erase any... They don't want the youth saying, well, what were these people about?
No, we've talked about this.
Right.
Again.
It's an erasure of culture.
Yeah,
They've always done it. Why is it such a surprise to think that this is another move in that direction? Another chess move in that direction? So many
people know that, though. But again, there's nothing that can be done about it. You're talking about an entity.
I don't know about that.
No. Nothing can be done about it from the perspective of this name's not coming back. And I think that's a big discussion right now because the stadium deal just happened and
they won enough to where it doesn't have to come back.
Yeah, well, it makes it easy.
The value of the name went up because they won.
Absolutely, you got,
and that makes it a little suspect. The winning.
Don't you wish this goddamn sophomore slump on us? You hear me, G? All right, now we got him right where we. Look, hopefully that's not the case, but as I said last year, hey man, I'll take this new chapter that's been written for. I'll take the new part
of the Washington football team. I like that better than the Commanders.
I don't know why people say that. I don't like that. I don't like when people say that. So many people say that too. Washington football team is a terrible name.
It's better than the Commanders.
It's both are bad. It's like y'all arguing about, the
dog shit or fucking cat shit.
It's all shit. Stop. I mean, it blows my mind that it's that level set. It's that level set that we're talking about. So it's so bad that you took Washington football team, WFT. You actually made that a name, and you made a new name that was so bad that you're okay with going back to the other shitty name. Stop. It's not good. And they didn't listen to the fan base because the fan base didn't vote for either one of those names when they were rolling it out that we want fans to vote.
Red Wolves and Warriors were the top.
Bottom line.
Right?
We all know that. Red Wolves honestly was the winner.
I think Warriors was up there though, right?
Warriors was up there, but unless you study this shit like I study,
because that was an issue with the NBA, right? Because the Golden State.
That actually was not the issue. Oh. The issue was that Dan, in one of his drunken stupor, Dan will sue, so let me not even say all that. He's a litigious son of a gun.
He'd be like the balancing act, 300 and some dollars.
But he will sue. It's been proven, folks. It's been proven in that dysfunctional guy.
He's the biggest.
Yeah, he's the worst. But listen.
Piece of shit.
He forgot to refile the trademark? or whatever.
That South Park had the whole episode about that.
Well, that's when they were just that's when the Redskins trademark ran.
Yeah. They went ham on him.
You can't make this stuff
South
up.
Park is so
good.
So, all right, so here,
good. I was watching it the other day too, G. So good. You know what I said to myself when I was watching it? I don't see how I could ever stop watching this. I'll be like 75 watching South Park. You know, if I get to live to 75.
I know you're not gonna change your mind on this.
On what?
But I just want to say, look at how South Park related to Kanye, and look at how South Park is interacting with Kendrick.
Oh, with how,
they're co-creating.
Yeah, I know, something together. Yeah. That is interesting.
Yeah.
But we already know that Kendrick is a Pulitzer winner for a reason. He writes. This dude is a writer. Yes. On a different level. Different spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. But people always say, "Oh, these Kendrick Lamar fans are stretching it," and okay, maybe some of it is a stretch, but the facts are the facts, and some of the shit that when his bars are just lining fucking constellations up, and I mean,
it is.
Some of this shit is just like coincidence or not.
No, listen, look,
incredible.
The beautiful thing about how I've always looked at the game is I love the game. I love all kind of artists. This war that just
in a way that's
he is.
I mean, even you said he out-Draked Drake at Drake's game.
At Drake's game.
With calculated shit.
I could not believe how he took that from because you remember how it started. I mean, Drizzy was feeling himself because it started off, push-ups, and then he hit you.
Well, first it was that track with J. Cole, right?
Kinda, but that doesn't. Depending on how, that's part of it, yes, because that led to that song right there with Metro and Future and Kendrick. Yes, so technically, but
like that.
But the immediate,
it was a first-person shooter, and then like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then the immediate beef started with the direct response. That's how you kind of look at that, which was push-ups from Drake.
Right.
And then all that Drake was doing online with the whole tailor-made thing, how he had AI Tupac voice and was kind of, I was like, oh, and we all knew he was baiting him. We knew he had something else, which ended up being Family Matters. But the way that Kendrick maneuvered, knowing, it was
Masterclass.
There's skits out here about like how Kendrick did that, and it's almost like as if that's exactly how it went with some of this one guy who's real funny on. He was just like his buddy came in the door and was like, "Hey, Drake just dropped," and he was sitting there on the computer. Yeah, not a problem. I know. And he sat back. He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, I just responded. It's like, what are you talking about? It's almost like that's exactly what happened. But look, yes, genius, man. Dude's a writer. And
genius is.
But going back to what you said,
genius is a super understatement, though.
Yeah.
Compared to the average person, I'm like barely a genius. I'm not a genius, but I'm like IQ wise, I'm probably like. When you compare it to the average person, it kind of depends on where I'm like right at that place where it's like, where do you draw the line? You could be right on this side where I'm not a genius. Or you could be right on this side where I'm barely a genius. Kendrick is like, clearly.
He's out there, man.
He's the genius's genius.
He's out there, and he beat him at his own game. And anybody with, like, the conversation online is interesting because, again, the cognitive dissonance, it's amazing to me how you can. I'm a fan of Drake, but you will never hear me say he won there. Like, what are we talking about? So again, but rolling back into something else again, somebody can have something presented to you right there, and you know it, but you still will choose to just be delusional into something.
Right. A lot of the Drake fans are delusional.
No different than than looking up the definition of something. It's the same thing. It's like, how do you argue things that it's like I said, it's a fascinating thing when you start to maybe look at things a little different than just the surface level. When you start to peel back, like, why does that happen? Or why is this happening? Or what is the psychology to this? Or what is that? You know, like you start, what is that? Like, what is that leads to that?
That's why
the inability to, I think about the amount of times that I, as a man, as a human, have learned something or thought I knew something and was wrong about it, or just simply read the room of, this isn't, I don't understand this that well. Let me soak it in, go off in my own little world, learn it, or look into it and take from it but people will, in politics, in what their belief is, or whatever, or whatever you think that you're right in, or whatever the case is, can just be blanketed. Like, nah. Even when there's proof or a breakdown, it's interesting.
Yeah.
That you could go to war for I'm not reading all that, or I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I just got told to listen and pay attention.
Yeah.
And the amount
they say, it sounds like you need to pay attention more, and then you send something in response, and it's like, I'm not reading all that.
Or I got another one for you that you weren't even involved in, I don't think, maybe. Sending a book about something that I have already read on the subject, with someone who always would have interesting comments about lack of reading. So reading, and not because of that reason, not even accurate though, right? But the fact is that the amount of times that your book or your thing can get sent.
But I've kind of given up trying to.
I understand that, G. Like I said, it's a muse for a bigger.
That's why I focus on the Toltec stuff.
Right.
Because the people can always relate to the personal. Everyone has a personal life.
Yeah.
And so if you can just focus on that.
I see what you're saying there too.
It will reflect out. And at some point they'll accept things outside of them that they weren't accepting of before, because they finally accepted it within themselves.
Yeah.
You see, like, not everybody works the same. I feel like with us, we had to accept how fucked up the world outside of us was before we turned inward.
Yeah.
You know, and started becoming more spiritual, so to speak.
Right.
But I think some people have to clean up what's inside before they can even begin to see what's going on outside of themselves.
True. And I think there's also work and growth on my end to understand that, but still, things get challenged when, again, like I was saying to you, that energy ain't really there anywhere else.
It's because of something going on inside, for sure.
You know,
it has to be.
Right. And it's just interesting seeing it when I feel like I'm that one who gets that. So I see it a little differently. It's like, maybe no one else sees it because it's too busy in those other chats being turned into a LOL.
Ridicule.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I took that video today. That's why I took that and put that there. We're not going to discuss this in that world. Yeah. I know what's happening here. And not only that, again, the goal to even, you don't know. And that might sound funny, but still.
Well, I guess it's for anybody who's not quite following. James, what our other friend posted about Sexy Red being like a CIA op. in one of y'all's other group chats that I'm not involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were like, no, we're putting this in the group chat with G because you don't want to discuss these conspiracy topics with G ever. But now you're going to put it in this other group chat so it sounds like you're getting ahead of the curve or something. When you've always ridiculed me for the same type of shit.
It's just
But because it's hip-hop, you're okay with...
It's okay to do that because it's too obvious.
Yeah.
It's safe.
Yeah.
It's safe to be like something's wrong here.
Right.
But nothing's wrong anywhere else.
Yeah.
But it's wrong
the Federal
here.
Reserve System.
No. It's not wrong in my lane. It's not wrong in the lane that I'm in and that I've studied because that would mean that what I've studied and what I think
it's all bullshit.
And I'm too smart. My IQ's too high for that to be the case. So no.
Yeah.
But everybody sees this though because it's obvious, right? I mean, everyone sees this, right?
Right.
No, that's not. No, sir.
No.
Now, the interesting thing is that it's absolute fact without even it happening that because I can, data is beautiful. Extract large amounts of data. Because, I have been learning this IT thing. I have been working on it. Which is remember, you saw the screenshot. That's what the whole class thing was even about from the social engineering thing.
Yeah, this whole thing started with James sending a screenshot of like a PowerPoint about social engineering, but it was social engineering the way it's taught in the corporate world. Where not the broader context.
Yeah, security, IT.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily apply in a broader context, which was the point that you were making.
Yes. And not only making, showing, highlighting,
right.
Doing the little extra that I don't even like to do.
The chat GPT.
Well, more so group, but
Grok
or whatever you call it. But regardless, it doesn't matter where you go with it. It's just it compiles it very specific. I mean, I'm like, I'm not writing of course. So you get it. But the point of it is that it doesn't matter. The whole point of it is that it exists as a pejorative. It exists as another definition. It's not just like Redskin, just like and I remember somebody was making a point about creating a pejorative definition for it because language evolves or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
In some cases, it's just layered. It's not even that language has evolved. It's like literally in the context of social engineering society, that term is used in
a larger scale.
Very larger scale. Yeah. And it's broken down on how that is. It's not conspiracy. Again, we've talked about this from the beginning of this pod, G. The amount of shit that gets labeled conspiracy, just like the amount of shit that gets labeled anti-Semitic, but that's another conversation.
But you got multiple levels to that, right? Because anything super real, you label that conspiracy to discredit it in some way.
Of course.
But then you
blanket
also
statements too, by the way.
Make up a bunch of bullshit to throw that in with the conspiracy. So now you're muddying the water.
It's fascinating. I use this word all the time because it is. And it's a study, I guess, of sociology, psychology, and maybe those two things come to mind for starters. And a little philosophy too, which I know you know a lot about, because a lot of it also is not everything is so much to certain people is black and white, and that there's only numbers.
I was thinking of this on the way up here, and I kind of want to tell this because it relates to everything that we're talking about, number one, but also because you've known me since elementary school, so you can vouch for some of the things I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a child, I was a lot of my peers might say like a math prodigy,
mm-hmm.
A math wizard, right?
Yeah.
I was like multiple grades ahead in math, getting bused to the high school when I'm in middle school type shit.
Yeah, I know. I know what classes you was in.
And because of the world favoring STEM, let's call it.
Yeah. Because that's what it evolved to, literally STEM.
Right.
When we were in school,
because of that,
yeah,
the way that I learned was just like perfect for the way the school system is set up.
Right.
I'm at a point now where that meme I sent about the monkey and the fish and the elephant, and it's like, now go climb that tree to see who's best.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of what our educational system is, because we all learn differently.
Right.
But our educational system is geared toward people like me. Good at test taking, really good at math, analytical mind.
Analytical mind. Yep.
And I also, to finish the story and to tell the second half of the story, I also think that, and I am speculating here, but I think you probably will agree that there's probably some people around here that, because of hearsay and whatever, small town rumor mill bullshit that goes on. Garnet, man, he was so smart. He had so much potential, but took a lot of psychedelics. Now he's a fucking stoner. Burnt out, probably whatever. But I'm still smart.
It's interesting. I
never lost that intellect.
No, but what's funny, G?
But people will discredit me now.
I never thought that. I never
took LSD or
I never put you in that lane.
You never did. But can you?
No. But there are people that I know right now that I can
guarantee.
Look at that,
not even guarantee, but you can more than likely figure that that's how they perceive me now.
Man, I never thought about it, but I guess maybe
like now I'm not smart.
You listen, but I don't. Yeah, I know, right? I know.
Because I filtered out the lies and the knowledge and became wise instead of valuing knowledge for the sake of knowledge.
And I can see. So from your perspective, it's interesting because there's like these battles, and that's probably something that you think about. It's funny because while I could maybe
but you were evolving with me. That's why we're here together today.
Right.
But you never saw it like that because you were like, we're growing, we're learning, the world's changing, we're changing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Evolution, it's natural.
I never looked.
But small town rich people that have always had their small town money.
Yeah.
That knew me growing up and might have been on my basketball and baseball teams.
From that perspective, okay.
I'm burnt out and I'm a stoner now and I'm, I made stupid mistakes, blah, blah, blah. I'm my dad's kid.
But gee, you got some other things there that would make you maybe feel or think that too, like you just said, you're your dad's kid. You just said that yourself. Something like, I see what you're saying now. The funny thing is, I guess because maybe I know I know,
but you were like blind to everything I was just saying because you were like on the ride with me. But when you take a step back and look at like Middlesex High School
from those type of people,
how people are around here,
maybe.
But they want to discredit everything I say. But it's not even discredit; it's just ignore because he actually was smart. You don't want I'm a fucking hot rod, dude.
For sure. I mean, I know that. I think anybody. I don't know if I know what you're saying.
Don't even talk about anything real around him because he might change.
But G,
a child.
But G, I got something. I got something I want to say about that. Right. You know what I've realized as I've gotten older and have had conversations with other people that I went to school with that I had certain thoughts or views
preconceived
notions about. Gee, it's these people, grown ass folks. It don't matter. They don't have a clue, bro.
No, I know.
They're still figuring out themselves.
Personally.
They don't. Even with the ones that may look like it, bro, I'm telling you.
No, I don't take it personally.
Yes?
I say it to point out the fact that these are the same people that were voting me most likely to succeed.
Gotcha. Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And I was so smart, and I'm a math whiz, But now, when I say anything intellectual, because it might be esoteric, quantum mechanics,
yes, I see what you're saying,
super philosophical, or whatever,
and then relating you to the fact that you're cannabis friendly,
crazy now.
And relating to the fact that you're psychedelic friendly. It's the same thing they're doing to Aaron Rodgers right now, regardless of what we think about him or whatever. But of course, it's automatic. Oh, he's one of them.
Yeah, he's a crazy.
From that perspective,
he went off the deep end. But was I not in calculus in 10th grade?
Yeah.
I mean,
true.
With the advanced 12th graders.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, did I lose all of that? Did my brain truly fry Or are you too scared to have a real conversation?
Real conversation. And we could going back
and
to
we can go there.
Going back
but
to
they're
that.
too scared.
That's what I've learned throughout even a conversation like yesterday. That fear. Because what are we talking about? This is like, it's not to even admit that I can't read that. Matter of fact, take me out of this chat.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm not reading that.
Matter of fact, take me out of here, bro.
Yeah.
That's when you realize, like, what B.O.B. Every time we do a pod, it's the,
they don't want the facts,
dangerous
just
thinking.
the convenient ones.
That, and also just the dangerous thinking thing. It's like,
boycotting mortgages, dangerous thinking.
So, does that
boycotting taxes?
Does that mean that we have we have a different level of fear absorption, or like, because for us, I don't look at none of that we talk about. I'm fearful of. I talk about it because I'm fascinated.
It's an awareness.
It's an awareness thing, but the fascination of, wait, y'all don't see that? Oh, y'all don't see that?
Right.
But I get it because
I think the thing. Here's the thing: there are people that are borderline consciously fearful, or like they know they don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
But then there's people like us as kids who just don't know, and we're locked in this fear state that the television is bombarding us with, that school is bombarding us with, that the outside world is just bombarding us with because of the greater culture. And awareness of some of these things that we talk about, whether it's political conspiracy or the perfection of nature, like we were talking about with gardening, or any of these variety of topics, whether it's
the stuff that really matters too, by
or the light side.
The stuff that really matters too, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it doesn't necessarily mean the dark, central banking stuff, or necessarily the love and light and crystals and all that.
Yeah.
The balancing act, right? It's all of it. It's like, why is any of this stuff off the table to talk about? Why?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
But it is for a lot of people. It's
Very
uncomfortable.
True. It's uncomfortable. Very true. And I accept that, and I don't. I try to. But there's examples of something like the other day with just the term social engineering, which I think is a very intriguing topic and term.
Right.
Yes, of course we understand that it's about phishing and IT stuff. Yeah. But also
that's the micro.
That's like yes.
Right.
That's
and the
of
same
course
concept can be applied to the macro. Right. I know.
I don't. So, but these people will beat you over your head to tell you.
Can't. That's where it gets Toltec. That's where it's like, you can't take it personally.
I understand that. I know, but I told you, it's the epitome of the broader part of the masses that I talk about much of.
But the thing is, I'm trying to listen to people that are hearing what we're saying. I'm trying to connect with and to build community with people that are on what we're on, and like, what's next? I'm not trying to worry about the people who aren't listening and who aren't catching up anymore. It's like, what do we do given this crazy fucking matrix that we're in?
Yeah.
And I think the sovereignty thing is kind of the road I'm most. That and cannabis.
I gotta get
that
there.
That and cannabis.
I gotta get there because I'm telling you, I'm over here fascinated at the fact that we talking about sexy Ray as a CIA agent, but social engineering isn't a thing.
Yeah, you can't just.
I know.
If you let it get to
I know, but it goes back to some of the very early things that I think both of us learned or found out about things. It's like I hear Kendrick saying right now, was it the braids? It's like, I want to say, what is it, the fluoride? Like, I almost want to say that, like, what is it? It's something. But that's what makes it fascinating for me. Because it's easy to say, and I think most of it is psychology. I get that. But I do, going back to some of the other stuff that, I'm interested in, find that some of these environmental things and frequency things that are out here and food thing, the combination of this stuff aids in this calified
Wi-Fi radiation
mindset
for sure.
Yeah, and I think these type of I don't even know what you call them.
Attacks.
Well, not so much the attack part, the part of here's the work, here it is for you. No. That isn't what you're talking about. That's not real. It doesn't exist. Or when someone brings the information or someone shows the information or the
cognitive dissonance.
The cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, but
I know that that's what it's called. I get that.
No, I guess what I'm saying is the same thing I told you earlier. And in the same thing your girl is telling you is just like, just don't worry about it. Let them be wrong.
No, for sure. Outside of that, there's a mass problem. That's
what do
close.
You do about that?
I don't know, G.
I don't think we can't even worry about it. I think we have to click with those who are already on our frequency.
Yeah.
And build.
I think my whole thing with that, yes, and build. Okay, yes. I understand that. I think I like to look at it sometimes though is I guess I guess that's the part of it. It's the fascination of like, no, I don't know. Everybody has their thing within this, I feel. I don't know if I'm saying that the right way. It's like continuing my own journey and then, hey, maybe this conversation that I'm hearing or this thing that's being said or talked about that you're trying to figure out for yourself, hey, remember this or remember that, or
the cognitive dissonance.
Listen, I know that's what it is, but I think we put these words and labels to things. There's still a root to it. And I think I just get interested in that because I don't know why.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
I've been with you. I've been frustrated too. I mean, you saw. It was several months back now, but it's just like.
Oh, yeah.
At a certain point, it's just like.
I know. I think that in itself is going to get me there because I'm just going to be tired of it. But
yeah.
And I get tired of it. I tell you that all the time.
You just got to meet people where they're at.
Whew. Interesting, man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I do like pushing. And then you can get their response. And if they're not ready, all right, that's fine. But if they are, then you push a little more. And you push a little. And then it's like, okay, this motherfucker's rocking with some shit I'm on. You know what I'm saying? Or some shit like that.
Well, that's what's funny about some of the conversations, like I said, is pertaining to hip-hop and maybe some other things. But it's like, man. But anyway, it's just interesting. I say it all the time. It's like, I don't need to get slapped. I don't need to see a video of myself getting slapped in the face to know I got slapped in the face.
Right.
You felt it, you see it, you have senses, you got slapped in the face. You don't need to see a video to know that you just got slapped in the face. All right? It's the same thing with many other things. You're not going to see everything. You're not.
But all right,
but
so I guess where I'm coming at it is like
mm-hmm.
the same. The title of our last pod, which for whatever reason is not getting very many views. Y'all need to check that one out. But it's called, and maybe it's because the algorithm includes the word conspiracy, so it's like demoted or whatever. But the title was The Spirituality of Conspiracy.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Because we were talking about how like our conspiracy kind of like led us into.
But now I'm like, you might not want to do that.
Yeah. But our conspiracy journey, so to speak, at least for me especially, led me to like the truth is actually spiritual. It's way beyond this conspiracy realm, you know. And so I guess that's what I would emphasize for you. You know, it's like
I know.
to stop worrying so much about others not seeing certain truths about external truths that hopefully are going to change anyway, and will change one way or another.
I know. We talk about that too.
Controlling what you can control, and you know, reacting how
for sure
in given your choices. You know.
Hey, I usually do. Sometimes
I lit up because like.
Sometimes it's just interesting.
Cannabis is like that ultimate balancer, you know?
I think from another perspective though, it's just I rant about that particular thing, but it's a like I said, it always reminds me of that being a larger thing though. A larger
because
thing.
you see that there's other people out here like him.
Yeah, but it's what keeps we've talked about this before in different pods, like
but why are you so worried about these other people? I feel like you just gotta keep speaking truth and let them catch up as they're gonna catch up. Like I feel like you're holding yourself back by worrying about specific people rather than just going forward, like the people that'll catch up, you're gonna be the ones that catch up.
I feel like even if that was the case, I still would talk to just how things can be so easily. I know what you're saying, G, but like, I mean, like for like the word woke, we talk about that sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at how that was taken, right? It's these little things where it's like, y'all see that, right? Not the fact that it just happened, but y'all see that, how we got there, right?
Yeah.
What's doing that? Who's doing that? How does that happen?
It was a term that was like, be aware of what's going on in the world, you know? And then it became like politicized and like super pro LGBTQIA plus.
Well, we're in the world. But look at the shift now with the climate.
I'm not against that. Sometimes we say things on this podcast that make it sound like we're not.
Oh yeah, whatever to all that. We just talk about things.
Yeah.
Like that's another part that I'm talking about.
Because I feel the fact that
we gotta say that. That's what I'm saying.
Because it shouldn't go without saying. When all I do is talk about love, shouldn't it go without saying that I love these people as human beings?
You could listen to our
disagreements.
You could listen to our
issues or whatever.
That's probably why it's not going thing, because I probably said something,
who knows?
I'm telling you. And the thing is that, and I'm learning about this in my class, they got shit that just be scouring servers and looking for things. Like, so I think the fact that the fact that that's
you were. And you know what? Remember the short? Remember that? Yes. We did that Kendrick Lamar. We were talking about not long after the Drake Kendrick. That's fine. We're not long after the whole Kendrick-Drake fallout. We did an episode on that, and I did like 5 or 6 shorts from that episode, and those shorts were getting like not a lot for us.
Yeah,
but it was like 400, 500 views a piece. And then there was one short out of the 5 or 6 that I dropped from that episode that only got like 3 views. And it was that one. It's wild, dude.
This is what I'm talking about.
How clearer can it be?
But
450 to 500 views on 5 of them. The 6th one gets 3 views. Same episode.
That's what I get.
Same short.
That's what I get passionate about, because people have to understand it. You gotta look. I don't know how much. I mean, that's what I'm saying, though, G.
Yeah.
Our whole pod last time was about that. I guarantee you that's going to be the I thought
it was a good episode, but that's probably why it's got so low views.
And what we got to do is we got to create our own language.
Yeah.
And again, this is why community is so important. And
urban culture has always been good at that.
Yeah, but it ain't no other way to call them out. I mean,
And have you ever seen the show The Wire?
Yeah, but listen, I need to go back and watch it now.
Right.
Yes, I have,
because the lingo part was one of the parts.
That's a B more thing though.
No, but just in general.
Oh,
as far as the drug game across.
Oh yeah, how they had to communicate with each other. Yeah.
You come up with different lingo because you are always suspecting that you're being.
But layer that with this kind of now. Like we almost got to do that to be able. Like imagine if we were big and I wanted to say some of that stuff.
No, I know.
The language would have to be down pat, or it probably would get pulled or whatever. You know. I mean. No, anyway, it's no coincidence, G.
No, you're right. You're right.
Just like it's no coincidence on the very artists that were being talked about in that video. Ironically enough, it's who are their handlers? You got to pull back these layers, and this is just what we talk about. I mean, this is
those other shorts totally stamped okay. Not only okay, but at that time pushed for people to talk about that.
Right,
the Kendrick-Drake thing. Yeah, that was a popular thing to talk about. So it's okay to talk about that. 450, 500
Absolutely. Views. Look at what they did for the reactors. They opened up the copyright stuff. They all got to. That was a moment. And don't get it twisted. I was a sucker for it. Just like I'll be a sucker for
everyone.
Just like I'll be a sucker for the football stuff. But again,
everybody's sucker for whatever it is.
Whatever you choose to be exactly.
But I think the important thing is to be aware.
Be aware. In a minute, just say it then. Yeah. Say you're scared.
Yeah.
Say you just.
That was one of my pop's favorite sayings.
Just say you're scared.
You're scared. Say you scared.
Just say you scared.
He had a fucking.
You don't have to be mean.
Remember the no fear thing? People had the no fear stickers on the back of their car.
Oh yeah.
My pops had one that said some fear.
How's he doing, by the way, man?
He's toasted.
I don't need to laugh on that.
He'd be better off than. And he. The thing is, he grew up. He raised me with a sense of humor.
Yeah, you're right.
And he would say, if I'm ever like that, pull the plug. But there's no plug because it's dementia. It's not like he's on a plug. It's just he just doesn't know where the fuck he is or what year it is. So it's like,
damn,
this shit's wild.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Neuralink is out, man. Go try it. Fuck it. Fuck it. We ain't got nothing to lose. You can have my shit. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm joking, man. I'm not joking, tongue in cheek here, but I'm just saying. I mean, Black Mirror's back, and I mean that one episode was basically about Neuralink, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, I love that show, by the way. Again, of course, it's our kind of show, or my kind of show, and probably our kind of show, but it's just those reminders.
Elon, if you see this, holla at me.
Hey.
Hook my dad up.
I mean,
For real. We're laughing because shit, sometimes in life you just got to.
You just got to, bro.
It ain't nothing else you can do.
You just got to. It's like, it don't even, first of all, I laugh because I always say it doesn't even have to be this way.
All right.
So I just automatically laugh from that standpoint right there. From that standpoint, just right there.
You know, in drama, they have like the comedy and the tragedy. And that's it, really. It's like everything's either a comedy or a tragedy. I feel like that's love and fear. You know, it's like we can make it complicated, but that's really all it is.
Right.
You can laugh at it or you can cry at it.
Or you can cry at it, yeah.
That's it. So,
it's very true.
It is.
If we were on parallels, I wonder what's making, and this is even if, I wonder what's making my conscious on this parallel and not maybe another parallel that I'm conscious of that's not this parallel. I don't say, folks, I'm not depressed or anything. I'm not saying that for that reason. I'm saying it's literally a interesting question. It's the conscious is on this parallel, regardless of if you get high or drunk or go to sleep and dream or work out and get out of your skin, that whatever, get in the VR. Whenever you're done with that, your conscious is in this parallel right here. I still can wake up tomorrow if I'm blessed enough to wake up tomorrow and call you on the phone in this conscious right here. You answer, blah, blah, blah. And maybe the answer is there is no other parallel. parallels. But I don't know. I think there might be, and I wonder what makes that conscious in this one. Stay in this one. I had a dream last night.
That is wild that you said that, because the next thing out of my mouth was about dreams.
I had a dream last night, and I clearly was in a different parallel, bro. You can't tell me
Well,
I'm not.
no,
Now,
no,
the experience of it is different.
That's what I was just
The
saying.
experience of it is different, G,
but
but you can't tell me that what I was doing in the dream is not me. Now, I can't control it the way that I can control this parallel. It's different. I don't know. I can't explain it. But you cannot tell me.
The 4 agreements. The 4 agreements, literally page 1. This is a dream. You're dreaming right now. I don't know if I'm not quoting it, but it's...
So what am I doing when I'm asleep and I'm dreaming there and I can't control that?
So... The dream when you're awake has a frame, a material frame. The dream when you're asleep has the tendency to change.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the space between sleeping and awake. You ever tried to stay awake when you're super tired?
Yeah, kind of. But I also know that if you were to just try to make sure, not go to sleep for days at a time, you probably will enter a different plane too. But I don't think I've ever been that far into it. But yes, tired from a long night.
You ever tried to lucid dream? Like take control of the dream?
I've
fly and shit like that? Like you realize that you were dreaming in the dream?
Yeah, kinda, but it's not the way that I say it.
Lucidity.
It's not the way that I say it when I'm awake and I'm like, dude, I kind of took control of that. Next time I'm in, I say shit like, next time I'm in. It's almost like Ready, Set, Player. Next time I'm in, I'm taking control. But when I'm in it, you can't.
You don't know that you're in it.
No, I do, but it's different because some dreams you're in and some dreams it's like you're looking at it like it's a TV. It's like it's like a POV. Mm-hmm. And some dreams it's like, yo, I'm watching and I'm seeing you know what I'm saying? The ones that I'm in, it can kind of control. Kinda, yeah. I've kind of did it before, but interesting enough, G. When I smoke marijuana, I don't really drink. Last night was out, didn't have any, slept, dreamt, of course, and I called it. I called it at like 4:00. I said, I wonder what I'm gonna dream about tonight, because sometimes I'm like, first of all, why am I dreaming about this person? Or something like that. And I'm like, do those people experience that too? Like, if I'm having a dream about someone that I'm like having a dream about, and I'm like, why? And look, individually, I understand it could be because that person's on your mind, subconsciously. This is a subconscious thing. I understand this is all dealing with that thing, that other charger back there, I'm sure. But does that work the same way for those people too? I'm like, and is it depending upon whether they're on your mind or not? Because in my reality right now, it might, I don't think they are because I don't be thinking about them. But like, boom, out for one, night that I'm not.
You know what this is reminding me of?
It's wild to me. So I'd be wondering that.
So on the way here, I left about an hour later than I wanted to, and I called you right when I left, basically right after I left, and you were like, I'm a little sleepy, but we'll make it work. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking this might be perfect because you ever heard the term like late night conversation? Yeah, it usually has like the connotation of like a deep conversation, right?
Yeah, and a lot of the people that get in their own shows, Shannon Sharp and all these other people now, they all got their little late night shows.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that, and I was like, I wonder why it is that late night conversations tend to be like the deeper conversations or like the more meaningful conversations that people have in life. And I was thinking maybe it is because we're a little sleepy and like we're kind of like getting closer to that space in between dream and awake.
So almost,
which is that balance
almost
state.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect awareness, like you're awake and dreaming asleep at the same time. Because you're still awake, you're still fully aware of your body. You're not fully asleep, but you're so close to sleeping that like the dream gate has opened.
Yeah. But again, I guess that goes to those parallels that I'm talking about. So it's almost like you're in there. Mm-hmm. But it's not as in there as I feel I could be with some more consciousness of it.
Right.
It's hard to explain.
Dreams are very difficult. We don't have the language for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the language to really fully... The Toltec was all about... The whole thing was about dreams. The reality is a dream. But the language hasn't been very well translated into English, so it's like the dream represents like reality and dreaming. You know, like there's it's all a dream. Like they call it like. But the consciousness is in this one. You have your personal dream.
Yeah.
And the Harrises have their family dream. And Middlesex has its community dream. And the Tidewater region has its regional dream. And Virginia has its stately dream.
But that would only be if everyone went to sleep at the same time, right?
No, because that's what I'm talking about. It's like the dream is that's what I'm saying. There's no words because dream is reality too. But dream is also nothing more because this is real. So you have to like relate all of these things to the same source.
Why is the conscious here? The conscious is only here
to have fun, to share stories with each other, and to dream a more joyous and happy dream.
It's such a complex answer. I mean,
it's a simple answer, but it's like
I understand it's such a complex question. I mean, because yes, but
people make it complicated. It's not.
There's the conscious is only here.
The knowledge and the stories that we believe about reality and the lies that have infected our beliefs about reality. In our dream, they would call the dream of reality. The dream of reality is a dream of hell right now. We're dreaming hell because of all of the lies that have infected our belief system.
Mm-hmm. And you've talked about that before.
The truth is beautiful.
The conscious is still here, though, G. Well, it's right. When we wake up.
But pure consciousness is just love. It's just the same word for love. It's the lies that infect it. It's just think about it, the analogy of a computer. A computer program that runs the way the operating system was designed is going to run flawlessly. It's when it gets a virus, and it's when there's a program that gets inserted into it that has a malintent, that has bad intentions, that takes energy away. And it couldn't exist on its own because it's not a program of its own. It's a parasite. It needs somebody else to create energy to suck that energy out of it. But it doesn't exist on its own. It's not part of love.
I don't know.
And lies are like that. Like our beliefs are alive too. That's the other thing. That's like the dream right there. You know, like people really don't take that seriously. No,
I know what you mean by that. I know what you mean by that. Don't take it seriously in the sense of
because people say they believe whatever.
Yeah.
Watch what people do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they believe.
I know what you're saying by that. I literally feel
people only act on what they truly believe. And the true belief is their operating system. That's their program.
Yeah, whatever their program is. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
But 90%, maybe less now. The world is waking up, but about, let's say, give or take, 90% of people are heavily infected with lies or viruses in their program. And that's what makes the program operate in such an inefficient way, to put it so to speak.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's so interesting, which is, how IT and human beings. Like, you could correlate so much.
Well, most of IT is just reverse engineering how we
operate.
But we refuse to see how we operate, so we think this is such an amazing invention when it's literally just reverse engineering our own abilities.
so much of it. Malware, viruses, and the program, and the
it's all a
simulation
reflection of what's going on inside of us. Anyway. Yeah, 100%. And dream.
I still don't understand why the conscious is here though. Here, but here's I guess here's what I'm getting at. You can't tell me that there isn't technology right now that can take that conscious somewhere else. It probably can. Now, is it artificial? Is it, I don't know. But I'm just saying, there's no way.
When you say
conscious,
so then tell me where I'm wrong, because I don't think I'm exactly right. But when you say, why is this conscious here? What I'm hearing is, what is our purpose? Because we're conscious.
We're conscious, yes. I just mean, like I was talking about with the parallels. It's like
I get what you're saying, but I guess my answer is so simple that it's hard to even catch.
And maybe my question is like, but we're I guess I'm saying we're here. We're
right.
All of that, like, that can happen within the mind, like what they probably did with Ye by even buzzing him so much and splitting this shit all up and all of that. Like, what the fracture of the mind, which is so funny because M. Night Shyamalan did it, literally split, fracture, all of that with his series of movies he did. It's literally based off of that from it's a movie, but it's coming from the mind though. And all the different like fields that exist that I think exist consciously, we wake up here every day though. Mm-hmm. You dream, okay, that's a whole nother thing going on there. But you're not there consciously. You're not.
Whoa!
Maybe,
whoa.
but you're not controlling it. You're not. I'm not patting your knee. I mean, maybe I am what I'm looking at, but it's not. I see what you're saying because sometimes you feel like you are in it. Yes, but again, you don't stay there. You don't stay there. Maybe you stay there if you're in a coma. Maybe you stay there when you're dead. I don't know, but you don't stay there here. Look at that. If you see me just pop something, that's what it is. But
I get what you're saying.
It's interesting with the. It's just interesting.
If that's something that you're interested in, you definitely need to get into the Toltec stuff more.
Yeah.
Their entire worldview is centered around. I mean, literally, the first chapter of the Four Agreements says that, like, this is a dream. Everything that you're reading right now is a dream. Everything you're experiencing right now is a dream.
Is it?
This is a dream. Yes, 100%.
But so then our definition, which I wouldn't be surprised, our definition of dream is not, or what I think a dream is not a dream. Then I shouldn't be calling what I'm doing at night.
You're getting caught up in the language.
And maybe that's it. But again, I understand that language is designed to limit too. I understand that. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's why you're like, well, that's why you got to read the Toltec. Okay. So maybe so. But that's I don't even know how we got here, but that is something that's kind of been on my mind too. Especially me already knowing I was going to dream last night. Just
think about reality itself.
Huh?
I mean, think about your question. Why is conscious here? Well, why does conscious exist to begin with? Why is conscious conscious?
I mean, if there are people out here that are time hopping, let's just say.
No.
Just spare me here.
No.
How is it that the conscious is just what?
Why? It was your question. Why is consciousness here?
That's what I've been asking, yes.
Okay, but just
not why is consciousness here.
Listen. Well, we need to dig at this. This is important. Change the word here to exist. Why does consciousness exist? Same question, different frame to allow you to dissect it in a different
way. So you're asking me, why does consciousness exist?
Yes. And it's the same question you asked me, just changing the word here to exist so you can get a different angle or perspective on the question. But when you think about it, it's the same question.
Well, I think it depends on what this even. I think it depends on what this even is all about.
100%.
For real, because if it's all about just an experiment from some
when
overlord,
you say what this is all about, what is this? This experience of reality? Is that what you mean?
Yes. This
experience of reality, consciousness is fundamental. How does this existence of reality exist without consciousness?
I don't know. But you're still. All I know is how does. Ask that again.
How does this dimension? I'm not asking the questions that you asked me. I'm just asking them back and rephrasing it. How does this dimension of reality here, as you put it, exist without consciousness? Consciousness is literally the foundation to the reality, to this reality. So when you say, why is consciousness here? And I say, why does consciousness exist? We're asking the same question.
Yeah.
So given that and I think you already knew this, but just put it into the ether, so to speak, that this reality is running on consciousness, so to speak. Its foundation is consciousness.
Yeah.
Given that piece of data, do you have an answer for why consciousness exists? I'll give you a hint. I literally answered the question already. I think it was too simple. I think it was so simple. You said it. It didn't go over your head. Your head went over it.
You said to have fun and just experience.
Yes.
But that still doesn't answer that. Okay. That still goes back to my whole like dimension jumping thing. Like, okay, so then conscious should be able to say, okay, I know things about this reality to be able to do something else or whatever. Like, I don't know. That's not the case though. It's one could say you
is it not?
You
do you know what happens when we die?
No. No.
So I mean, this could be the blink of an eye in a different light. I mean, this could be a dream.
Yeah.
In the way that we think about dreaming. But even if it's not in the way we think about dreaming, how is it not a dream when you start to realize consciousness is the foundation of all of it?
It still goes back to what I said. That would depend on what this is even all about. If this is
why would it not be about having fun?
No, yes, from that perspective. I mean,
what else would consciousness want to do? Love. I mean, that's having fun, right?
Yeah, no.
Would it want to fear?
No. I get what you're saying from that perspective.
That's the virus.
Yes.
Sucking the love right out of it.
Yeah.
Right out of the consciousness container.
Definitely.
I mean, literally. I mean, I know it's simple. I know it's almost so simple, too simple to like fully grasp. But like, what else would consciousness want to do?
Consciousness.
If it could do anything it wanted.
Consciousness.
And it was the only thing that existed.
I think it probably would want to do that. But why is the consciousness stuck in this dimension? Like, if I'm dreaming, I'm there. And all this is happening in the mind, I understand that. But we talked about, we were kind of hinting at it earlier, like the control piece. Like, have you ever tried to control it? But you're not waking up there though. You're waking up here always.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting to think about what has it stuck here. What has the consciousness stuck here?
So I think that's a matter of perspective. Like when you say what has it stuck here, like from our perspective, it's stuck here. But from the consciousness perspective, It put our little piece of consciousness here for some purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And the highest purpose is to have fun. But like how we as individuals have that
choose
fun.
to have fun or choose to
It's
have
kind of
fun.
like what creates individuation.
Mm-hmm.
It's what creates personalities, characters to the story. The story is the dream. Those are the same, those are interchangeable words there as well.
Yeah.
So I think again, it's more of a choice by the greater consciousness, by God, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
by life itself, to put us here at this time. And we
Mhm.
might think, 80 years, that's a hell of a lot of time. But from the perspective of the greater consciousness, that could be,
No, I know. It's like
0.08 seconds to us.
It's like what you were saying with the experience of some of those DMT trips and what I've heard about them.
Mhm.
Just like it feels like the concept of time in that instance, that's
obliterating.
But yeah, the concept of time is an interesting thing when you think about that, because it's like you said, like we're here, feels like a long time, but boom, you could be in a whole different thing when this thing is over with, and it was actually just a flash. So I get from that perspective, I get it, but it's just interesting that.
But no, I do.
This
So
is where it's tuned.
Yeah, no, you're right.
This is where it's tuned to be when it's not. It's no other parallel, no other.
Yeah. So from what you're saying, because I'm with you, and that's something I think about too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that anybody who thinks deeply about things eventually thinks about.
True.
I also see this dimension, since that was the word you used, as like a training ground for consciousness too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of the things that we're supposed to be learning is that learning is fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that we're supposed to be learning. And then we can have fun by learning more.
Right.
Part of learning is not just learning what's in a book, because that's just one person's story.
Yeah,
it's actually talking to other people.
Yeah.
And getting people's story.
And experiences too. Yeah.
And sharing stories.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Sharing stories is like a gift. And then hearing a story is like receiving a gift.
Yeah.
Stories used to have a lot more value, I think, especially with the indigenous, because they were just aware of their power,
Yeah.
Myth and story, dream.
Yeah.
The story that we believe about reality kind of shapes the way that we behave in reality. The way we live,
for
way we live out our story, so to speak.
Oh, for
the
sure.
way we dream.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. But I don't know, just some of the things that if you spend time with and think deeper on, it can also I feel expand your current understanding, because it's going to help you walk down that path of wanting to know, asking those questions. Everything that we talk about started with us asking a question about it.
Yep.
And it rejects the fear of wanting to know more about that topic, even though that topic may be considered taboo, or that topic could be considered dangerous thinking, or that topic could be considered out of the norm or whatever. It's how else do you even begin to? I don't know. But we're all wired differently. I get that.
That's why I harp on the Toltec. And I know I've said it before, but it's like, it's not a religion.
Mm-hmm.
Every other religion is limiting, because what a religion is a belief system. So like, if you're identifying as like a Christian or Islamic, Muslim or Jewish, whatever, like, you're not getting the truth from the others.
If you immerse yourself in it, that's it.
And the Toltec is like a lifestyle.
That's what you look at. That's what you believe in. And I think I had said, it's interesting of what makes, like, it's funny when
it's the real difference is it's not limiting.
Yeah.
All the other religions are like, this is what we believe because this is the truth. But it's like the truth is not limiting. The truth is expansive, and like it's love. The love wants to connect with other people. Like, if you're saying this is the truth, other people's truth are wrong, then you're like cutting yourself off from love, and which is cutting yourself off from truth, which is cutting yourself off from God. So like religions are anti-God in that way, because I don't know, to me it's like truth is God. I've said this before on the pod, it's like with the Taiji episode. It's like, and if you see things that way, if truth is God, then not challenging your own beliefs and examining your own beliefs is like not facing the potential lies that you might believe.
But it also could explain why some are set up the way that they're set up in the beginning with, because you have to be open to that. Yeah. You have to be open to challenging that. You don't get it's, to me, it's easy to be programmed. It's easy to just...
We're all programmed.
Yeah, it's easy to just take whatever it is that's been fed to you.
Yeah, I guess if you're comfortable with your program, then why challenge it?
Yeah. It's hard to address. It's harder to say, okay, cool, but what about? Or, I think that's where it always starts at with most people. Those who are willing to say but, and those who would never dare say but. So it's an interesting concept, and I think there can be a whole pod that digs deeper into dreams,
the space between dreams,
that you had mentioned. Yeah, absolutely, because all of these are concepts. All these are things that have been said. It would be interesting to kind of branch into that too,
exploring levels of consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again. You sleep, this thing's working, it's like a
awareness.
Generator that's running, and it's got all of this conscious and unconscious stuff that we do as humans. It's like there's this thing that's so
subconscious.
The subconscious is a mind-blowing topic. Of all of the conscious, it's the subconscious, because think about that thing that's just, it's always there in the background. It's like, again, layered with... It's crazy how it's just layered with technology, like the whole concept of IT and tech being, because think about the subconscious. That's like the memory of the computer. It's just
right.
Viruses, antiviruses, and the hardware that operates it all. But just how that even operates, it's almost like they took that.
I feel like antivirus is like the 4 agreements.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, yes.
Don't take anything personally.
Very, very, very true.
Antivirus program.
Yep.
Like, that's the most solid fucking eternal antivirus agreement.
Very
antivirus program right there.
Again, though, man, the way that it mirrors.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, this has been awesome.
10-4.
Do you believe in repenting? What if the kingdom of heaven's within you? Do you think you would enter, huh? What do you know, huh? How do you know truth? From the pit of your soul or just cause somebody told you? Do you think about what you think about? Do you see yourself in the people that you hang around? Keep quiet, let me think aloud. Listen up, wanna break it down and question your perceptions. I'ma break it down and question your perceptions. Do you ever question your perceptions? Do you ever question it all? Yeah. What if your money was worthless? Then would you know what your worth is and reconsider living with a purpose? How would you determine what work is? Are you seeking what's easy to purchase, or is it deeper than what's on the surface? Do you question your perceptions ever so is real, huh? It ain't your politicians, nor your status. All of that is fiction, so it's real, huh? It ain't your entertainment, nor the industry. I heard it's filled with fake shit. I need truth over everything. I need truth above all else. I need truth over everything. Yeah, give me the truth, give me the truth, give me the truth, yeah.